Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity. This is one of the things that we can be truly grateful is coming out now. I've been doing frequency medicine for a long time, and to see it now get into people's hands where they can start to understand that we're electrical, we're frequency beings, and voltage is healing. So when we think of, oh, well, some kind of mineral deficiency that somebody has, and we're going to try and fix their problems. And I do restorative medicine, which means I try to restore people's health once they're chronically ill or terminally ill, even for that matter. And their charge is low. I've got to get all those minerals in there. We have to start thinking about healing as physics and not chemistry only. So what's going on is the person has a low charge. We have to charge them up. So I've known that for a long time. To be able to see this come out today is an awakening by itself, to know that these things are happening. Oh, and I bought it like you. I don't know anything about this company, but I know a lot about frequency medicine. And this was so affordable. Every machine I owned cost me $2,500 to heat somebody up with electrical muscle stim or shortwave diathermy, and they help. I know about frequency medicine. I use it. It's cumbersome trying to get people hooked up to electrodes and fire up at the right frequency, starting with in the days of Rife, when he was looking at chronic illness and frequencies that could stimulate organs back to health. And seeing that something like this is being claimed, I bought it. I said, let's fire this up. Let's see what's going on. I had a headache that day. So I turned it on and, my headache went away, but, maybe that's placebo. I wasn't expecting it to go away. I'll tell you that, but it did. And I was a little taken aback by that because it was only about 2-3 minutes. I was just waving around on my head. In general, I was at home. My husband was there. He said, your headache is gone. And I said, yeah, I can feel like something was there, but it's not there now. He says, that's huge. I said, well, let's just see. I expect a lot more from this than that. And because of an old sciatic injury, I treated my leg. It wasn't flared up at the moment, but I have partial paresis, which results in a limp. So I put that on for about 5 minutes. It's loud. My husband wanted to watch television. I turned it off. I got up and I don't have a limp. So, I kept walking around and I didn't have a limp. Well, what's going to happen if I walk a little faster when it gets more pronounced? Okay, the limp came, but it was maybe 60, 70%, 75% better. And I didn't even do it for that long. So I was like, I'm not ready to accept this. This is just huge.
Correct.
I think this is just huge. So I thought, this is not a scam. So I start digging into terahertz frequency, and I start finding out that it's kind of a sweet spot between wavelengths, that it can actually get deep enough into your tissue and bone marrow and stimulate those stem cells. But what I found, that there was something moving around inside of me, like aligning itself and moving, opening up ligaments that had been restricted. And the next couple of days, I'm walking around using muscles I haven't used in years. I've had this limp for 15 years. Now I'm sore using muscles I hadn't used. Now I'm convinced this isn't a temporary, oh, it made me feel better for 5 minutes. This is permanent. I was stunned, to say the least. But even though I know about frequency medicine and I know the technology that works behind it, it really has the potential to heal. So, and that's what the research shows. I'm not speaking out of turn here. This is what the science says. There's a Nobel Prize winner, this Dr. Nels, who won the Nobel Prize for treating tuberculosis with artificial light. It wasn't terahertz. This is better. So I take the machine to the office. And I'm going to try it out on more people. And I have my opportunity. In comes a real bad injury. This poor fireman had an entire wall fall down on him. He's got to have a hip replacement. He can barely walk. He's just had fresh orthoscopic surgery on his knee, and he's got a torn Achilles, and he's here for a fit for duty exam. And I'm laughing. I'm like, you can't go to work? He said, I know. What do I do? I said, well, I'll tell you what. Let's get you on disability and get you some healing, and let's start today. He said, I already started physical therapy. And I said, yeah, but I got a Rolls Royce in my garage. I'm going to try out on you. He says, okay. So I pulled it out. He's like, whoa, what is that? So you see this light? That's what's treating you. This is a frequency that is very high intensity, but it's not like laser. It's not going to burn you. It's very, very safe. And I'd like to try it out on your new surgery. And I don't tell him what had happened to me. So he's like, sure, let's try it. So I put it on him, and I did it for 10 minutes. Now, because his surgery was fresh, I had to put it on the low heat setting because the skin was already hot. So now this is the first time I'm using it on a low heat setting. And I do it for 10 minutes, which is the longest treatment time that I had just got the machine. And then I said, well, let's see what it did. Let's see you walk. Walking was very painful for him, but he was game. So he gets up and he's walking. And I said, wow, that looks like it's about 25% better in 10 minutes. He said, oh, at least.
Wow.
It's better than that. And
Wow.
he's as stunned as I am. So this is, what do I have my hands on here? This is really, really everything that I know frequency medicine to be. And it's in our hands. And I'm so excited and so grateful. I want to cry. I'm moved deeply by the fact that people don't have to pay me $100 to come in to use my machine that halfway works for 20 minutes. And then the minute you get home and feed the dogs, you're in pain again. And you got to come back again. Keeps me in business, but I'd be happy to have this machine put me out of business. I'd be happy to. So I treat people that are expected to have permanent disabilities. They're involved in lawsuits. It's called med legal. I do expert testimony, and I work on behalf of the patients. So I see people who are pretty badly injured. And I see fresh accidents as well as chronic ones. This day I had a fresh accident come in, and he'd had the car accident just the day before. So the muscles are guarded now, can barely turn his neck. And he's crying on my shoulder. I've got to get to work. You've got to help me get to work. And I work for the state. So there's, so much that I can do and my license is about keeping the roads safe. And he can't turn his neck. So I said, well, let's see what we can do. He says, yeah, but I've got to go out of town tomorrow. You're giving me one day? Okay.
Wow.
Expect a miracle, get a miracle. Let's see what we can do. I got this machine. It's been doing some good things. Let's see what's going to happen with you. So I put him on the table. I examine him. And he's tender. I can adjust, but it's going to hurt him if I do. And I say, you know what? I've got this machine. I'm gonna try it out. And you're doing some good things. So I did that to him, and he says, something's happening. And I said, what's happening? He says, something's moving around in there. I said, that's the same thing that happened when I did it. Something's moving around. I said, go ahead and move it, stretch it, see what you can do to move it. And he's pulling his neck out while I'm treating it, doing like that. And I'm like, pull it out. Don't hold back. Do it. And he's lining himself up. He's just like self-aligning, and his muscles are releasing on the spot.
Wow.
And the reason I know that is because I said, you know what, after this treatment, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can adjust this. Let me put my hands on it. I put it on, it's moving. I just barely put low intention, a thrust, and everything lines up. And he's like, oh my God, you're an angel. You're an angel. He couldn't stop claiming that I was an angel. And then, he's telling, my husband is my business manager. And he's like, I just got to tell you, you're married to an angel. Look at this.
That's amazing. Yeah.
If people are seeing results like this, which are nothing less than miraculous, and you don't want to believe it, but when you see it and it happens to you, they're going to want it. Of course, they're going to want it because they need it. We're all so sick. And this is the way to charge up ourselves so that our minerals are working, our water's hydrating us, and we're seeing instant results. Of course, it makes I hope this machine puts me out of business. It would be a miracle come true. And that's what I'm expecting, nothing less.
Yeah,
Nothing less.
exactly.
This is the future medicine. And to be alive today, to see this happening, to have it in our hands, it is something that people are going to have trouble believing. They have to try it, and then they'll see that they've been in pain for 15, 20, 30 years, and they see some relief. Now, depending on if you're feeding your body right, if you're eating Kellogg's cornflakes in the morning, every morning, and you're drinking Coke, and your blood is like battery acid, you're probably going to see even more remarkable results, but you're probably going to get a little sick first or fatigued while the body tries to pull itself back together. For me, it was instantaneous. I do a lot of really good things in keeping my body healthy and active and my muscles. And when I did it, my paralysis was relieved. I mean, instantly. Now, will it come back? Well, it hasn't so far. It's been about 3 weeks, and I'm walking better every day because I'm still using it. Of course, they're going to want it. By its own merit, this is really hard to believe. It's so amazing. I'm so grateful for being alive at this time. I like I said, I've known about frequency medicine for a long time, and my idea of when we would start seeing things turn around as the big shift takes place in our lifetime. My measuring stick was about energy. When energy was going to be released to the people, then I would know it's happening. And it took me, these 3 weeks of holding on to this product to realize that this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the moment that tells me that things have turned. The shift is here. If you look up, if you like physics at all, the wavelength, the terahertz frequency itself, this is brand new technology. We've had artificial light and laser and UV light therapy that we've been doing, and IV and all kinds of things for a while with success, but nothing like this. And this is brand new technology, and it's the sweet spot of wavelengths. And they put it into this ability to let alternating current activate these crystals, and they can make these portable units. This is just since 2006. This was NASA and Turkey and Japan and the United States were all involved in a lot of the research that I was reading about. And the interesting thing to note is that this frequency is absorbed by water, particularly. And since our body is made up of water, it circulates through its electrical information very quickly throughout the entire body all at once. That's why, that's what makes sense to me from reading the science, why it works so incredibly, so systemically. So what in artificial light therapy, no matter which one, whether you're using red lights or blue lights, infrared or lasers, what it's doing is it's charging up photon activity that already exists in our cells. And this photon activity actually communicates with other photons in the body. So you can charge up in a vial, say, for instance, in the research shows, in fact, Nobel Prize winning research shows, that you fire it up in one vial and the one that's not even physically in contact with it will fire up. So the cells are communicating through photons. That much we know. The fact that it's absorbed, that this particular wavelength of terahertz, brand new technology, we're talking brand spanking new technology in our hands, and a business opportunity. The way they decided to put it out there was genius, to get it in as many people's hands, to start educating people about that we're really frequency beings. And this is how our medicine needs to go, not in the hands of synthetic chemistry that builds a false kind of mafia empire that's being funded on our backs and on the health of ourselves, our family, our loved ones, our children. Our health is failing because they're making money off of it. instead of understanding how the body really works, and it works with light frequencies. And we know that. We know Kirlian photography. We know all of this. We've known it for a long time. It hasn't come together until this.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is life changing, world, humanity, life, cultural changing technology.